Hey guys, Retro Gaming Guy here. So today in this video, we're going to unbox, demo, and review the Beelink SEi14 Mini PC, which has a very sleek design. Definitely looks like it has some great port offerings on here. I want to dive into the specs with you guys before we go any further. So the Beelink SEi14 offers the Intel Ultra 5 125H processor that's going to give you speeds of about 4.5 gigahertz on here. That's 14 cores, 18 threads. It offers 32 gigabyte DDR5 RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD installed within with Windows 11, and we also have triple display capabilities on here. Now, in terms of graphics here, we have the Intel Arc graphics on board here. Now, that's where I start to look at this and wonder, are we going to have great performance here with gaming? And I'm not so sure. But we do have some other good specs going on here, so we will test out gaming. However, at first glance, I don't think that this mini PC is going to be ideal for advanced gaming. I think it's going to be a little bit hit or miss there, but we're going to unbox this. We're going to see what this offers in terms of layout, design, functions, features, all that good stuff. And then, of course, performance as we boot this up. We'll dive into some games. We'll see what the performance is like over there. But I also want to see what this is capable of beyond just gaming. So let's dive into it and get started. All right, guys, let's start opening this up. Well, we tried to be graceful. All right, so nicely packaged as always from Beelink. Oh wow, this has definitely got some weight to it. Much heavier than your typical mini PC. All metal too. I can feel the temperature of this. Very cold to the touch here, but definitely metal. Definitely a lot more weight than what we typically get from this. So I'm going to set the actual mini PC aside just for the time being. I want to comb through what is included inside here. So we've got a nice little greeting here. Hello, over some padding. We've got our user manual right here. Now, this is a different user manual than what we typically see from Beelink, so I'm going to kind of comb through this real quick. Walks through all the port options here, shows you how you can make your triple display connections on here. Since I assume that it's not all just HDMI ports, it's usually a Type-C, sometimes a display port, sometimes dual HDMIs. We'll dive into that momentarily. Shows you how to open everything up to access everything inside. So if you want to mess around with the SSDs, install or uninstall anything within, very easy to do that. And then it may, but more or less just repeats itself here in different languages. So I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. We've got our power supply cable right here. So pretty typical there from Beelink. And then we are also provided with a regular HDMI cable right here. That's everything within. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual mini PC now. All right, here we go. Here's the mini PC. We'll go ahead and remove the plastic. Can't get over the weight of this. I mean, I'm actually not worried about things weighing more, but you know, it definitely has a lot of weight to this. So let's take a look at the front panel here. So we have our power button all the way over here on the right-hand side. And it feels, I believe that's a rubber power button there. So good action on there, though. I always test the power buttons. I know a lot of people are always like, why are you testing power buttons? Believe it or not, there's a lot of issues with some mini PCs and their power buttons. And I've seen it corrected a lot over the last couple of years. So this is great action on here. We've got a little display light there. I'm sure that lights up when you power it on. Audio jack, Type-C, USB. So in terms of the port offerings here for gaming, it's a little bit sparse, I'll be honest. I know that the intention of this product is not solely for gaming, but in terms of, you know, port options here, I'd like to see maybe one more USB-A cable connection possible here. Yeah, a little bit sparse for gaming, just because I like personally easy access to everything right on the front panel. But let's flip this around. So there's nothing on either side here. So not much ventilation here, although the entire bottom here is ventilated. So this does have a very interesting cooling system as well, which is supposed to be really high end to keep everything nice and cool. So on the back side here, we do have a lot of USB-A ports. So we have two over here. We have another one down here. So in terms of, and now we have an Ethernet right here as well. But in terms of display options here, we have our Type-C, we have our HDMI, we have our DisplayPort, all in a row right next to each other. So very convenient there. And I like the fact that we don't have to alternate between front ports and back ports. They're all in a line back here. So if I'm going to use triple display, which I typically don't, I'm a double display type of guy, but triple display is a nice capability to have. It's nice to be able to have your connections organized neatly in a row in the back rather than having cables just on all sides of this. So definitely like that. We have another audio jack connection there for, you can use it for microphone headset as well. And then we have, of course, our power supply port right here on the end. So we can go ahead and bring our power supply cable into the mix here. Easy connection, just like that. But we're going to power this on. We're going to take a look. Oh, you know what? Before we power it on, let's open it up. So if we flip this over, we have this little tab right here, but we're going to have to access everything. So what we have here are 4 rubber stoppers that are actually covering up screw holes. So one thing I'll say is it's a bit inconvenient to access everything because you have to take those rubber stoppers out in order to get to the screws. So I'm going to go ahead. I have a little pick here that I should be able to pop those out with. All right, so you can see I have this little pick here. It's literally, I had to poke through it to get it out. And then it does expose in here the screw head. So it's not my favorite setup. I mean, it does look very well polished off, very seamless here to the naked eye. But when you have to actually access this, I mean, who wants to start poking holes in, these little rubber stoppers here? Not me in a perfect world. And I'm kind of prying them, but I know that even if I'm super careful, I'm going to do a little damage. I'm going to at least make, an indent in there at the very least. So I'm trying to pry it out and then grab it with my finger. But yeah, it's a pain to do that. Not that I mean, who really cares if there's a little, once I take the little pick out of there, it barely leaves even the slightest indent. It's not a huge deal, but it's, still somewhat of a tedious process. So, all right, let me grab my screwdriver. We're going to open this up. All right, we got all 4 screws removed. We'll go ahead and open this top panel up. And we do have a screen across the top here with 2 screws securing that in place. We'll go ahead and also remove that. All right, so we got those screws removed. We'll go ahead and just simply lift that right off. And we have access to everything inside that easy. So if you want to make some adjustments to your SSD, your RAM, you can do all of that pretty easily here. So I definitely like the fact that we do have the dust filter here. I mean, mini PCs, even though they are so much more compact than, regular PCs or especially a gaming PC, dust is still going to be an issue, especially when you have ventilation like this on the bottom. So the dust filter here definitely is a nice touch here that I was not expecting. So I like this, and I like the way that everything has been set up so far. Very easy to access everything. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall everything here. I got a feel for what it is to, access everything within. And it's, not the most streamlined process here by any means, but it's certainly not a difficult process either. All right, so I've got everything reinstalled in here. Those rubber stoppers went right back in there perfectly. And they, there's some little indents in them, but not a big deal whatsoever. So I'm gonna go ahead and start setting this up. on YouTube, it's multiple times a week. That's correct, right?
Once a
At least
week.
I've seen. Okay, all right.
Once a week.
There's been some weeks where you've been on it a couple of times. PC. This has been around for a very long time, but they're currently selling on Amazon refurbished for a ridiculously low price of just $77.50. So this could be a viable option for people that want to get into retro video game emulation at a really low price point. You can obviously go the mini PC route. You can spend anywhere from $150 or about 100 games and collections and reinstall this back into the PC. And because I want this to be a $77.50 setup today, I'm going to do exactly that. I'm not going to go out and get a separate drive. All right, guys, so as expected, the gaming side of things here is very, very limited. I would not recommend this for gaming just because even retro gaming is very inconsistent. I was able to get into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on here, but I can get into that on just about any PC. It's not demanding or impressive to play that by any means. So I would say if you're looking for a mini PC specifically for gaming, this is not going to be an option for you, or not the best option for you anyways. Where this does have some major upside though is in the fact that you can expand upon the RAM on here up to 96 gigabytes. You can also expand upon your storage space with dual 4 terabyte SSDs if you wanted to. So for me, I recently switched over to 4K for this YouTube channel. The downside to that, of course, is storage space. Those files take up a ton of space, so I'm constantly having to delete things that I didn't have to delete in the past. I never had to worry about storage space like I do now. 4K rather is definitely taking up a lot of space. So to be able to expand upon the storage on a mini PC like this, and to be able to accommodate larger files is huge, especially if you are putting this into an office setting where you're going to be using this as your maybe home-based work computer. This could definitely do a lot of good for you. It's almost silent, in fact, as well. So doesn't have a really loud fan. The cooling on here is just so efficient and so quiet that I definitely think this could be a great option for people, but you really have to have that unique set of circumstances to where you would use something like this. Now, in addition to that, you can get up to 3 different displays going on this at the same time, 4K in fact. So that's another great way to bring in video editing into the mix here. That would be huge for a lot of people that like to have multiple displays when editing. If you're, somebody in the stock market, this could be something that you bring into the mix to bring up multiple displays. I know a lot of traders like to use multiple displays. So this does have some very unique use cases. So definitely take this mini PC into consideration. Understand the strengths and weaknesses here, as well as price point. But if you're looking for something more gaming oriented, Beelink has some other options that are phenomenal. I'm a big fan of the SEi 5, the SEi 6, the SEi 7, and I will be reviewing the SEi 8 momentarily. In fact, I have it right over there at the time of this recording. That's going to be probably the next mini PC that I review. So stay tuned for that if this didn't suit your needs today. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for your time. If you want some additional information on this product from Beelink, click the link up here at the top of your screen, as well as in the description of this video. That's going to do it for today, though. Let me know what you guys think of this option. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you appreciate the insight into what this has to offer. And of course, hit subscribe to stay in the loop for all future videos right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.